Hello and welcome back. We are learning functions. We asked the question of what is a function and we learned what a function is. Now we will go on with math functions and we will see some more built-in functions in Python. Let's go to Jupyter Lab and math functions. Here I will write a sentence. We use math module. Math module, it's a built-in module to do mathematical operations in Python operations. So what is a module? Let me write this also. We will see it in more detail in another section. Module is any Python file. Python file means .py. It ends with .py. Any Python file that includes executable Python code. We call it as module. It's nothing but an ordinary .py file. We call it as module. It has functions, everything you need, you can put in your module. We will define our own modules later on in the course. So now let's import math module. I will write math module. I will import it directly with import statement, import math. That's all. Now we got our module. Now let's see what's in the module. See the module, documentation, docs. If you write print math, it will give you the module name, which is math. It's a built-in module, but this is not the docs. See detailed docs, detailed docs. Python has help function, built-in help function. Let me write this. Help function gives you the detailed documentation of a function, of anything, whatever you're asking help for. Help math. If I write this and run this, you will see everything in the module, the functions, the description, the name of the module, any detail written as the documentation, you can see with help. We will use help a lot, by the way. Okay, now we can call any function from the module as dot with dot notation. Let's say with dot notation. Dot notation means I write the module name and I press on dot, then I can write, let's say, pi. I want math.py. It gives me the pi constant of mathematics. So everything in the module will be accessible via this dot just after the module name. Okay, let's do an example. And we will read the function documentation much more clearly. Example. What is the perimeter? Perimeter also for circle, they call it as circumference of a circle with radius, having radius of, let's say, 10 centimeters. I want to calculate the perimeter, the circumference of this circle with radius 10 centimeters. How do you calculate perimeter in math? It's 2 times pi times r. R is radius. So let's define our variables. First, radius. Radius, we will call it as r. R is equal to 10. This is our first variable. And now we will calculate the perimeter, which is the variable name is perimeter. Perimeter is 2 times. Now I need pi. I will include it. I will get it from math. Math.py times r is exactly give me the perimeter. Then I will print perimeter. As you see, perimeter As you see, the perimeter of this circle is 62 point something. Now let's calculate the sine of another example. Calculate, I will write this comment, calculate the sine of 30 degrees. Math module has a sine function, which we want sine of 30 degrees. That's a very important example. The sine itself is not important for us, it's just a function, but what I'm trying to show, what I will show is very important. So please be careful. So let's create our variable. Degree is 30 degrees, let's say. Okay, I want to calculate sine of 30 degrees. So I create a degree variable with 30, value as 30. Now I will calculate radian. Why do I calculate radian? Let's wait and see. Radian is equal to math.radians. Math function, I click on tab, by the way, to see what's in it. Math function has radians function. Math module has radians function. As you see, it puts F here. So I select radians and I put here 30 degrees. So it's not, just put the variable. So the radians of this variable, which is 30 degrees, will be my radian variable. Okay, now let's print this. Print radian. It's 5.52. Okay, now I want to calculate, I didn't do it yet. I want to calculate the sine of 30 degrees, and first, intentionally, I will do it wrong. False usage of function. You will see where we did the error. Where was our error? You will see it. False usage of function. Now I need sine, and I will name this variable as sine. This is from math.sine, as you see, function, math.sin function, and I will put here degree as a parameter, and let's see what it is. If I calculate the sine of 30 degrees, it will give me 0.98. You should say, wait a minute, this is wrong. Sine of 30 degrees is not 0.98. We had done something wrong, and now let's see what we have done wrong. We will call for help of math.sine, and let's see what it gives us. I put the function name. Be careful, I don't call the function. I don't call it. I just put the function name and ask help for that function name. And now you will see it says built-in function sine measured. It returns the sine of x. But what is x? X is measured in radians. But here we pass degrees. So we use the function in a wrong way. We didn't check the documentation. That's what I was trying to show you, which is very important. You have to check the function documentation before using it, because someone else has written this function and we assume that it will take degrees, but it was a wrong assumption. They actually built the function to work with radians, not degrees. So let's call this in a true way, in a correct way, correct usage of function. Math.sine, this time I will pass radian, not degree, because it takes radian, and previously I calculated radian, and now I give this, and if I calculate, it's about 0.5, which is true. Of sine of 30 degrees is this. Okay, one more thing before finishing this video. I want to show you composition, and I will make this markdown. Composition of functions. In other names, chaining functions. Chaining functions which we use a lot. You can chain functions like this. Let's say in the previous example, we had the degree, we calculate radian, then we calculate the sine. Now I don't want to calculate radian, I want to chain the functions in one step. You will see what I mean. Now again, degree is degree is 30. Let's start from here. We have 30 degrees. Now I need sine. Sine is equal to math.sine. Inside that, since it asks radians, I will put radians just by the function itself. So I will chain the functions. First it will call this, and then it will call math.sin. So, and I will give you here, I will give it degree. So if I give degree here, first math.radians will run. This will return me some radians, and then it will pass into the sine function, and it will return sine to me. As you see, exactly the same result what we did partially. In the first way we created a temporary variable. This is called a temporary variable. Its idea was to keep that radians of this degree. Then we pass this radians to sine function. But here by composition, we don't need any temporary variables. We just give the degrees first to math.radians function. It gives me the radians. Then we pass this radians to sine function. It gives me the sine. So exactly the same results. Okay. For math functions, I think that's enough. Now we will start to define our own functions in the next video. Join me and see you in the next.